What up, world? It's your boy Sauce Guy 80, man. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time, man, to, tap into this segment. It's my first segment. And due to this being the first segment, I just want to make it important to understand that this music shit, it's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of pros and cons in the music. It's a lot of hard work, man. And if you really want to do the music, you really got to put your work ethic in, man, because at the end of the day, it ain't gonna never really be how you expect. But when you love doing something, you just gotta do it and then let the cards fall how they may. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing music, man, for 28 years. I started in Mike Move Basement. Like I grew up, man, with people like Jay Dilla, my nigga Al Nuke, man, Cosmic Origines, fucking T Stucky, fucking my nigga Mike Blow. Man, it's a lot of niggas I can name, man. We started with a group in 1998. We started off as Rap League Infantry. Then a couple of us did a spinoff called the Infantry. We just took the Rap League off. Then I became co-founder of Polish Entertainment. And now I done branched off into the 75 Music Group thing. For me, music has always just been something that I really just enjoyed doing. Growing up as a kid, I wanted to be an architect. I wanted to draw blueprints for buildings and shit like that. But the school shit ain't panning out. And then as I began to do music, I really understood that my artistic hunger was really for music instead of actual arts and crafts, as far as like drawing and painting and stuff. I just felt more at home behind the beat machine. I used to pay for studio time. Me and my cousin and everybody used to pay for studio time and shit. And then I was paying for studio time so much, I just said, shit, fuck it. Went in the studio one day and I asked Mike Move, I said, bro, how you work the machine? You know what I'm saying? So Move showed me how to use the MP. And the rest has been history. I've been making beats ever since. So I'm damn near 30 years in on beat making. Been making my own beats since 1998. And I ain't gonna lie, dog, I love this shit. And me coming from analog before all this digital shit, where we actually had to, you couldn't just drag and drop shit like you do now with the FL Studio and the Reasons and the Logics and all these programs now that they had to make beats. You used to have to actually look at a monitor. It had the little AOL man, the little man running across the screen to a Metrotone, to a tick, 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 and you had to actually play within that frame before the man stopped running and then looped back around. So me coming from analog, and then my first keyboard I ever learned how to use was a Triton. I never learned how to play the piano. I used to just go off ear. A lot of producers, they don't really know how to read sheet music and play, and they go off ear. Well, it sound good, and after so long, you develop your own way of playing the piano or whatever. But for me, I was more so in love with the records. Me being able to take the Technique record player, put the record on there, slow down the tempo, speed it up, and being able to find those jewels hidden in them crates with them old vinyls and them little 45s and shit like that. And then what really made me really love the production shit is because, like, me growing up in the streets and shit, when I used to go, when my brother went to prison, I used to go hang out on St. Louis with my cuz Dank. And, you know, that's how I met Dilla. And, you know, when we used to sit there with Dilla, bro, I never told Dilla I did music, bro. We used to just sit and smoke and crack jokes and laugh. And, you know what I'm saying? I was the big homie. But it wasn't until my brother went to, back then it was Chocolate City. It was one of the #1 strip clubs in the city of Detroit. My brother went to Chocolate City and he seen Dilla. Dilla was in there with Black Thought, if I'm not mistaken. And bro was like, nigga, you ain't heard my brother? And he like, who? He like, yeah, he like, Chop, you ain't? He like, I ain't no Chop fuck with the music like that. And my brother gave him the CD. So the next day I'm on the block and shit. I'm sitting over there and shit. Me and Dank smoking and shit. All of a sudden we see Dilla coming down the street, beating. When Dilla pull up and roll down the window, he beating the record off my CD. He like, Chop. I'm like, what up, bro? He like, bro, why you ain't tell me? I say, bro, because so many people run up to you every day when they see you, bro, about this music shit. And I know when you come on the block, you just trying to come chill, smoke some blunts, and just relax and just be normal. Because it's hard, bro, in the city, man, when you get some type of notoriety or fame, it's hard to just do the same thing that you used to do, like be able to go hang in the hood and just be normal, because you always going to get that somewhat of a star treatment to the point where you're never going to get a chance to just be yourself. People going to always try to come rap for you. Or, I got beats. And, you know, when you doing music or any type of job or any type of thing that they look at as a job type situation, you just be wanting, when you're not on the clock, you just want to be normal and want your own personal time. So at that time, niggas was just giving Dilla his personal time, bro. And at that time, bro, I wasn't really trying to, I wasn't even looking at it like that. Like, I wasn't looking at it like, you know, this Dilla, yeah, I'm about to get with Dilla. Dilla gonna give me some deal and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of money and all that. At that time, I was just really working on my craft and just trying to be better at what I was doing. And at the same time, giving Dilla his personal space, in a sense of just being able to be normal in an environment that the majority of the time that you're moving around is abnormal, because people don't know how to take in success or know somebody that has some type of success in the industry or fame. So a lot of people, some consciously and unconsciously, they become groupies, bro. And they just be coming with all type of extra shit. You know what I'm saying? So in that, Dilla pulling up and playing my music, and then he was asking me like, bro, what made you sample this record like that? And I was like, shit, I don't know. It was just the way the keys was playing. And then he was like, Chop, that's it. He like, keep doing that right there and perfect that. And from that day forth, man, I've been chopping records, bro. I've been chopping them bitches up. I was chopping them bitches up so much when Dilla told me that shit. Man, my brother and them got mad because I stopped fucking with the Triton. I was just chopping records for a whole year straight. I was just sampling records, looping them bitches, trying to figure shit out. And I'm glad I did it, bro. And I'm glad I did it because in this generation, it's so easy now to get loops and sample kits and drum kits and all that. It was harder back then because there was only a set standard of drums and snares and kicks and hi-hats, or you had to go dig in them crates and you had to take them drum loops and cuts from records and then create your own motherfucking sound kit. You know what I'm saying? And then it wasn't no, you ain't had no USB drive. You had the actual, what the fuck was that shit called? You had the actual floppy disk drive, or I forgot what they called it, but it was another like external drive where you used to have to put the fucking floppy disk in. And if you had some money, you would get the big one and you would be able to hold more shit. But for the most part, when I started making beats, I used to have to save them bitches on floppy disk, bro. We used to have to go buy floppy disk. And then when we was recording, We wasn't using Pro Tools. We was using the fucking D88 machine with motherfucking the 8 high tapes. They was using ADATs at the big studio, but Mike Move figured out you can use the 8 high tapes on the motherfucking Tascam D88. So they are smaller, like basically they like camcorder tapes, but you can get them formatted. And the machine format them, but we didn't know. We used to buy them from the disc. You know, it's a studio in Ferndale. It's called the Disc. And well, no, it's in East Point, but across 8 Mile. We used to have to go there and buy the DATs formatted, and then we can record on them. But once we figured out we can format our own shit, we started just doing it on the machine. It's just you got to roll through the whole tape, so it might take you an hour. Because the minute the D88, the 8 high tapes wasn't nothing but like 60 minutes long. So you would have to format it. You would have to wait an hour. So depending on the time frame we had, we would either buy them for the disc or we'd just go to the studio, pay for the time, and we'd just format them. You know what I'm saying? But I began just going to the studio so much and learning so much. Mike Move was teaching me so much as far as recording myself, manipulating the samples, and then I'm taking what Dilla gave me. So I'm just sitting here making shit. And what you hear now is all the years of work that I put in, minus the 9 years I spent incarcerated that took me away. But what's so crazy is that when I got incarcerated, I took the picture of the MP before I went to prison. And I used to sit there in my room, my photo album, bro. And I literally used to look at the picture so I wouldn't forget how to program the sounds. So I would be sitting there like, yeah, you got to hit this F1. And then when I came home, bro, it's crazy because the evolution of the music is so crazy because when I came home, I got the Pro Tools, I got everything, but I'm still analog. So I went and got me an MPC 2500. And my homegirl I grew up with, who's like my sister, you know what I'm saying, my homegirl Nada, I had put the fucking MP 2500 in the pawn shop. I just put money down on it to buy it from the pawn shop. She knew I was trying to get it. She went and paid the motherfucker with her credit card and got me my MP out. So I'm sitting there with a 2500 trying to get back into the groove. And I never worked with the 2500. So it was a little more technical than the 2000. But, you know, I'm figuring it out, reading the manual and shit. But in the process of me doing that, I ended up getting the studio at Studio 17. At the time, my big homie Bob, he had came home and shit before I came home. And when I came home, Bob had a building. Him and Cook and shit, they had the studio and shit. And at the time, it was two sides to the building. One side I ended up acquiring because, long story short, niggas was bullshitting. Didn't nobody want to pay for the space. So me coming home, hustling a little bit, making a couple dollars. I get with Bob, I acquire the space. On the other side, my man 6-0 was on the other side. So I'm on my side doing my thing. He on his side doing his thing. Then I run into my nigga Tay Blood from the joint. We was in the joint together. So I get the building. And now I'm hustling. I got the studio, but I'm hustling. But I'm spending more time hustling than doing the studio shit. But at the same time, I got turned on to the FL Studio. And it's crazy because my little bro, Pilot Reg, turned me on to the FL program and showed me the basics on how to use it. Then, once I got the building, I met John Boy. John Boy showed me his little tricks and shit. But then it's crazy because as the years went on, I kind of realized that everybody got the same program, but everybody made beats different on this shit. And it's like, I used to see John Boy sit there with this shit. This was the first time I ever seen somebody make beats without keyboards and shit. It was all mouse, all keyboard and mouse. No actual keyboard to play keys. Niggas just using the computer, bro. Just dropping shit on that bitch, just using the computer, bro. And that shit was just so crazy. So I spent the next couple years from like 2015 to like 2016 learning FL, figuring out the shit. Then my best friend Will, his little brother Azarelli would start when I come home, he making beats. He showed me shit. You know what I'm saying? So I done took pieces from Reg, pieces from Azarelli, and the shit John Boy showed me. And this is how I learned how to use FL Studio. So once I learned how to use FL Studio, and to this day, I'm still learning. It's a lot of shit that I didn't know that you could do on the program until like a year ago, 2 years ago. And I'm still learning little simple shortcuts because I never read the manual. I'm a hands-on type of person. I don't read the manual. I just fuck with it till I figure it out. Because for me, fucking with it till I figure it out, it'd be more ingrained into my mental to where it's easier for me to show somebody than just give them the instructions. I'd rather show you how to do it manually. And then it's easier for you to grasp when I'm showing you right in your face than for me to tell you to do this or do that. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, bro, I don't want to talk your ear off on that shit. I learned that shit. I progressed in that shit. And to this day, bro, my love for music is just so strong, bro. Especially as an artist. But when I sit back and think, like, would I rather rap or make beats? It's hard for me to pick one or the other. But the one that I do the most is the production part. It's just because it always fascinated me to be able to create my own sound and make the music off of it. And then I just been doing this shit for so long. Like, I sit back and reflect a lot of times about when I was doing music back then in like the late 90s, 98, 99, 2000. And I was rapping with me, my cousin, and my homeboys, and my brother and them. And I go back and listen to this shit. And it's crazy because, nigga, I was whack. Nigga, that shit was weak as hell, bro. A lot of my verses was whack. A lot of them bitches was kind of dope for that time. But me being my biggest critic of my music, back then I was just trying to make shit fit a lot of times. But then I sat back and I understood why. At that time, we spending all this money on these hours at the studio. I'm the only one know how to work the equipment. So I gotta pull the program up. I gotta make the beat. I gotta write my verse. I gotta spit my verse. Then I gotta record everybody. So a lot of our music from 98 to the 2000s, I'm rapping first. Because I gotta get my verse off and then finish recording everybody. But I think, like, I truly believe that was all in the grand scheme of things. Like, I think Allah designed it that way in my life for me to go through that whole pattern of how I was making the music. Because now that I look at it in hindsight, my music career is like, I would look at it like Kobe Bryant becoming the Black Mamba. Like, coming into the game and not being the star. And then as the years progressed, I developed myself into being the greatest, especially in my circle. You know, a lot of people always got who they like better, who they, you know, when we come from the hood, everybody said they was this person better than the rap. But when you look at the body of work, the time I put in, and the talent that Allah blessed me with, respectfully, disrespectfully, ain't nobody fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm top 5 all time Detroit. I don't give a fuck who you name, how much money they got, what type of following they got, celebrity status. I put my catalog up against everybody, anybody, anytime, because one thing that I can say that I know I got great timeless music that a lot of artists from my city lack in that area. And I can rap with anybody, and I can rap on any type of beat, and I can do any type of style, and I make all my shit, and I can make other type of shit. And my music vocabulary and genres is way deeper than any artist that I know in the city. You know, my cousin going to school in the South, my family being from Alabama, I got family in Atlanta, California, like the places where I was privy to music so young, and the type of shit that I was listening to growing up, my range is too broad, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I just hope that this story inspires another up and coming producer to just focus on the craft. I got a lot more I could say, but by this being my first episode, I just want people to understand that in music, in order to have longevity, you gotta have some form of real, genuine love for the art and your craft, and you have to have the discipline to stay pushing. Because I've been doing this shit for so long, and the only thing that I can say I didn't do pertaining to me being successful, number one, I jacked my life off and went to prison on some wild shit, playing with them guns. Number two, the only reason that I'm not as successful as I could be is because I didn't take it serious as I should have. Meaning that me being from the streets, I gave the streets more loyalty and time than I gave the craft. But I spent 9 years in prison perfecting my craft to come home and kind of fall right back into old habits, because every nigga wants some money. Plain and simple. I love music so much that it's never been about money. Every artist that I done produced records for, I done gave free beats. I done helped a lot of local artists that's now popular, that got a name, that got a following. I done help them perfect the very thing that they are now being successful for. I done did a lot of shit for a lot of people, bro. And it ain't never been about no money. It's just my love for music. And only thing I ever wanted for everybody is for no matter who I run into and encounter in this music industry or in life in general, I just want the relationship to stay the same and for you to reciprocate what I'm giving. Because I don't do nothing but show love. So I just want the same in return. And throughout my journey in music, since I've been free from incarceration, I've come to realize that the only fault that I made was to expect people to be like me, in the sense of me showing love and wanting people to show the same type of love. Because in showing love and you expecting people to be the same, it leaves you vulnerable to be misused, because you just hoping that, or you expecting the same in return. And in the end, it don't always be that, bro. And then you'll meet total strangers and they'll show you more love than the people that you've been grinding from the mud with. So one thing I can say in music, bro, you can't take shit personal, bro, because it's all music business, entertainment, all this shit is to entertain, bro. And some people don't value relationships. They value the money over the relationships. And then a lot of people become successful and shit on the people who helped them get there. Because helping a person become successful is not always about you put the money up, or you did this for them, or you paid for the video, or you did this. A lot of it has to do with the creativity of the process, or being accessible to people. Because when we was all in Studio 17, bro, when we was making the music, just all of us being in the same work environment help everybody become great. Because when you got, like, say for instance, you got an artist like GT, he comes to the studio. I'm in there working on some shit. I'm older. I'm OG to them. I'm older than them. So like I'm the big homie. But in the music, I'm the OG. I've been doing it longer. So the type of songs that I'm making is like real, actual records. Not trying to shoot down that they not making real music. They just making a certain type of sound that only has a time limit on it. It's not timeless music. I'm in here making real songs that hold weight, that are timeless, that don't have no time attached to them. That means 20 years from now, the song's still gonna be hot like it was then. It's artists that's now got records like that 10, 20 years from now, you still listening to T Grizzly First Day Out, so you know that it's capable to happen. But when you in the studio with people and you are making music that is on a higher vibration of sound, it gives them motivation to make music at a higher vibration, because it's in a sense like a competition. We all competing for greatness. So it's like when you hooping, if you can play, you're going to make people play harder. So in that environment, when you, me, GT, Sada, Dame Dot, John Boy, Re-Up, DZ, man, everybody used to come through it, man. Like any nigga in the city that's popping, they was in the building, bro. Peasy, RP Mox, fucking Babyface Ray. He used to pull up and get bad beats from John Boy and shit. Like, it's so many rappers that was popping then that never popped and got further than just the locality of the situation too. You know what I'm saying? So just being in that environment together and everybody working together and everybody feeding off each other energy made them make great music, which catapulted them into the space that they needed to be in to get where they are now. So everybody contributed to each other's greatness due to the vibe. You know, now you hear like it ain't about lyrics, it ain't about, it's about a vibe. That space, that creative space that I created when I came, and the type of energy that I was pushing through the room, it helped a lot of people meet and build relationships with each other that a lot of them still got to this day. A lot of those guys, I don't have the same relationship that I had then, but I don't hold nobody to the point where I feel like motherfucker did this, or they should be like this, or they should be like that. If anything, I would blame myself for expecting people to be like me, because if I had the position that a lot of artists had today, it'd be a lot more people with opportunities to win. You know what I'm saying? Because the type of person I am, I can't blame nobody for not being me. So in that type of space and environment, I was just thankful to be a part of people's legacy, because me personally, this is my opinion. Without Studio 17, bro, you don't get these artists like you got them. You don't even get them vibes, bro. You don't get none of that shit, because all the energy compensated each other for niggas to make the type of records that they made when they was in my presence, because of the type of energy that we was putting off in that room. Ain't no 2K17 video if I didn't have that space in that room. He could have probably, that song would have probably eventually happened, but it wouldn't have happened the way it happened, and the video wouldn't have looked the way it looked, and it wouldn't have been like it was. So people can say and assume or think that the whole don't matter when it do, because a lot of the local artists, man, it's a lot of producers that you never heard their name, that niggas made beats for these artists, man, and made a lot of they up and coming music when they was trying to get where they are now. These is the records that made niggas hot. These is the records that got them the buzz in order to get to the next level. And you don't even hear about those producers no more. A lot of them don't even reach back for those old producers that helped create that unique sound that the fans fell in love with. This is why a lot of artists fall off, because they don't stick to the sound or the blueprint And I understand when you become successful, you had dreams and aspirations of working with certain producers, certain videographers, being on a big scale. But the groups and the music that we love, you love them because they had a signature sound and a signature way of doing things. This is why they became icons. And this is why you have a lot of people who are a part of the music catalog, but they are not a part of the icon status in the music industry because they didn't separate themselves from the whole. They didn't come with their own unique sound and production and stick with it long enough to cement their space. But all the artists, even the young artists to this day that you see that's winning, they got a signature sound. And they with a signature producer that's keeping them in a signature space that's going to keep their legacy intact because they're going to be unique from the rest of the crowd. So again, man, I just hope that this episode, man, shed a little light. I know I was a little all over the place just giving y'all a brief of this music shit, but that's just me, bro. Either like it or let it alone. So the next time, it's your boy Sauce Guy 80. Peace, love.